all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young girls to pick them, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the young girls gone? Long time passing. Where have all the young girls gone? Long time ago. Where have all the young girls gone? Gone for husbands everywhere. When will we ever learn? When will we ever learn? Where have all the husbands gone? Long time passing. Where have all the husbands gone? Long time ago. Where have all the husbands gone? Gone for soldiers everywhere. When will they ever learn? When will we ever learn? Where have all the soldiers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the soldiers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the soldiers gone? Gone to graveyards everywhere. When will we ever learn? When will we ever learn? Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time passing. Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time ago. Where have all the graveyards gone? Gone to flowers, everyone. When will we ever learn? When will we ever learn?
Welcome to our All Faiths Unitarian Congregation Memorial Day service. My name is Susan Meissner, and I will be leading our service today. Here you will find a diverse and inclusive spiritual community where we welcome people with many beliefs. You can bring your whole self, your full identity, your questioning mind, and expansive heart. At All Faiths, we have more than one way of experiencing the world and understanding the sacred. No matter who you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, and no matter whom you love, you are truly welcome here. Is anyone visiting for the first or second time? If so, please raise your hand. Welcome. We're glad that you are with us today. If you would like to know more about us, please see Fran Way, who's in the black and white blouse, in our membership corner, which is just behind the folding doors. You can also visit our website at allfaithsuu.org. We have several announcements. The first is on Saturday, June 3rd at 10 a.m., we will have our newcomers orientation. If you want to learn more about All Faiths and Unitarian Universalism, please sign up on the bulletin board in the social hall. Also, today, following the service, we will have a short congregational meeting to enable our members to vote on their preference with regard to the proposed revision of the UUA bylaws, Article 2, changing the principles and sources. And there are upcoming additional events on page 2 of your order of service. So if you'd stay, don't rush up and leave. Just wait a few minutes after the service. At this moment, I'd like to ask everyone to please rise in body or spirit as we sing hymn number 361, and to rejoice and come in.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of the change. Don't be afraid of the change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Now I'd like to invite Pam Falzer to come forward to light the chalice. And I'd like to ask everyone to please join in reciting the words in your order of service. As we light our chalice, let us remember the sacrifices of all those who gave their lives in order that we may be free. Please join now in singing Go Now in Peace as the children leave for their child and youth program with Albie Johnson.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Today, I'm lighting the candle in memory of Darwin Haney. Darwin passed away on June 21st, and we send our sympathy to his wife, Jean. And now, I invite any of you who have joy, sorrows, or gratitude in your hearts to come forward and share with us.
Candle service. Oh, after.
Hi, I'm Carly Martone. I own an acting studio up in Babcock Ranch. And this Wednesday is our first showcase. And you all are invited. I'll put this on the bulletin board if that's okay. I know it's kind of last minute, but yeah. This Wednesday at 6 p.m. Tickets are only $5. And I'd love to see some of you there if you're interested in acting. We also have a couple vocal students. I think only 3, but yeah. So if you can come on out to Babcock Ranch, I know it might be a little bit of a drive, but we'll be having our showcase, and I'd love to see some of you. Thank you.
Annalie.
Good morning. Welcome back, Linda Runkle. It took, what, 8 months for you to come back from the wilds of Indiana? And hopefully you're going to be back in your own bed, in your own house. And see you every Sunday at All Faiths. This is our seat.
We've had a lot of displaced persons from Hurricane Ian, so it's good to have you back, Linda. And we're hoping that all of you who've been displaced, you'll soon have homes to return to.
Hi, I'm Regina. I just want to thank everyone who showed up last night to the ACMA fundraiser here. It was called the Summer of Love. It was tons of fun, and they raised lots of money for us. So I want to thank them and thank everybody who supported them.
Darlene?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have a joy. I'm celebrating with all faith this morning on my 64th birthday.
Oh!
I thank you, and I thank God for my husband who's here, and my son came down from Atlanta to celebrate this weekend.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
excited.
Yay.
Happy birthday
Day
to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dean.
She's been with us right from the beginning, and she always brings the spirit here to All Faith. I'm lighting this candle in memory of all those who have died in all of the wars and all of the strife, preserving and protecting our freedoms. And may we appreciate the service that they gave, and may we have a spirit of reverence on this day of recollection. And I'm lighting this candle for all of you who have joys and sorrows in your heart. And may you go out and reach out to those who cannot join us and remember them.
Hello. For the first time, I'm going to introduce to you our brand new trio. It's the All Voices Trio that we were supposed to have him when Dr. Vanessa Gilliard was back here, but since she left to California, Vanessa, thank you. It left me with just the choir again. But now Carly has come up, our newest member. She will start singing with us next season because we're already ending the season for this year. And let me know if you're also interested in the choir season for the fall, starting 2023-24. Like, you know, you don't have to be the greatest singer. Just singing happy birthday to you, you qualify. So that's good enough. So this one song is called Light a Candle. It's taken from off-Broadway musical called Mamale. It's about a Jewish family with a grandmother, the mother, and the daughter. So 3 generations of wonderful, it's a wonderful musical. But this one song, I'm gonna invite Joan and Carol and Carly, who are gonna be our All Voices Trio, which we'll be singing starting next year, hopefully every second Sunday. So every second Sunday the trio will sing, and then every last Sunday the choir would sing to give us more joyful sounds and delight. So at this point, Carly and Joan and Carol, please come up to the mic. To the front. And the song is called Light a Candle, which is perfect for our chalice, so we can use it in many special occasions, even when the rabbi comes in memory of anything that is candle related, light related, energy related, and chalice related.
as it is written, let there be light, a candle, as millions have before, so lighting every sorrow, they glow now all the more. All of our mothers before us have done what they must do, binding our spirits together as a soul like me and you. So light a candle to make our souls ignite, as it is written, let there be light, a candle, as millions have before, still lighting every sorrow, they glow now all the more. All of our mothers before us have done what we must do, binding our spirits together as a soul like me and you. So light a candle to make our souls ignite, as it is written, let there be light.
Now, I'd like to ask everyone to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let us turn our minds and our hearts to today's service and contemplate our blessings. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing together hymn number 123, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the streams of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, given by the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Today we're honoring Memorial Day, but our Christian friends are also celebrating Pentecost. Pentecost is when the Holy Spirit descended upon the followers of Jesus, It enabled them to be empowered with the Spirit to go forth with their mission. And I think we get that every Sunday with the Spirit of life coming into us for compassion and justice. So today we also celebrate Pentecost. Our opening words today are by Frederick Douglass. Once, let the black man get upon his person the brass letters U.S. Let him get an eagle on his button and a musket on his shoulder and bullets in his pocket. There is no power on earth that can deny that he has earned the right to citizenship. And now Darlene will bring Abraham, Martin, and John to us.
Anybody here seen my old friend Abraham? Can you tell me where he's gone? He freed a lot of people, but it seemed the good they died young. And I just look around and he's gone. Anybody here seen my old friend John? Can you tell me where he's gone? He freed lots of people, but it seemed the good they died young. And I just look around and he's gone. Anybody here seen my old friend Martin? Can you tell me where he's gone? He freed a lot of people, but it seemed the good they died young. And I just look around and he's gone. Didn't you love the things that they stood for? Didn't they try to find some good for you and me? And we'll be free someday soon. It's gonna be one day. Seen my old friend Bobby? Can you tell me where he's gone? I thought I saw him walking up over the hill with Abraham Martin and John.
This morning's reading is by Walt Whitman, and it's entitled Dirge for Two Veterans. The last sunbeam lightly falls from the finished Sabbath on the pavement here, and there beyond it is looking down a new-made double grave. Lo, the moon ascending up from the east, the silvery round moon, beautiful over the housetops, ghastly phantom moon, immense and silent moon. I see a sad procession, and I hear the sound of coming full-keyed bugles, all the channels of the city streets they're flooding, as with voices and with tears. I hear the great drums pounding, and the small drums steady whirring, and every blow of the great convulsive drums, it strikes me through and through. For the Son is brought with the Father, in the foremost ranks of the fierce assault they fell. Two veterans, Son and Father, dropped together, and the double grave awaits them. Now nearer blow the bugles, and the drums strike more convulsive, and the daylight over the pavement quite has faded, and the strong dead march enwraps me. In the eastern sky, upbuoying, the sorrowful vast phantom moves illuminated to some mother's large transparent face, in heaven brighter growing. O strong dead march, you please me. O moon immense with your silvery face, you soothe me. O my soldiers twain, O my veterans passing to burial. What have I also to give you? The moon gives you light, and the bugles and the drums give you music. And my heart, O my soldiers, my veterans, my heart gives you love. And so ends the reading. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing together, God Bless America. As Carlos indicated, we're going to sing it twice through, and the words are on page 2 of your order of service.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to the land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so free, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, through the mountains, through the valleys,
Well, good morning on this beautiful day in Southwest Florida where we're living in paradise. Today we are gathered together to celebrate our National Memorial Day. And I'm sure that all of you have many memories of gathering with family and friends on this day throughout the years. Let's look at some of the history behind this holiday. On May 5th, 1868, an organization of Union Army veterans, the Grand Army of the Republic, established Decoration Day as a time for the nation to decorate the graves of the Civil War dead with flowers. By the start of the 20th century, ceremonies were being held on May 30th around the country. After World War I, the holiday was expanded to honor all American war fatalities. Congress recognized Decoration Day as a federal holiday in 1838, and the name Memorial Day became more commonplace after World War II. In 1971, Congress standardized the holiday as Memorial Day and changed its observance to the last Monday in May. Now, I was born in 1939, so I grew up during World War II. It was a time when soldiers were a central focus of our attention. All of us had family members and friends who were serving, and we listened on our radios for news of where the troops were. In the 1940s, Decoration Day was a particularly special day when we visited cemeteries to place flowers on the graves of those who had served and sometimes other deceased relatives. It was a time for reverence and reflection. In my little town of Owatonna, Minnesota, we gathered at Central Park, where the high school band marched and played patriotic music, including my brother, who played the trumpet. Then the ceremony would begin on the stage of the park's bandstand. Our only black man in town was Harry Brown, who would bring tears to our eyes as he sang "God Bless America" with his majestic voice. That song was written by Irving Berlin and introduced in the fall of 1938 as fascism and war threatened Europe. We must never forget the threats of fascism. Then the speakers would begin with our mayor reciting the Gettysburg Address. After that, other speeches and prayers were delivered. In 1957, Meredith Willson introduced his hit musical play, The Music Man, which perfectly captured the essence of how we celebrated holidays in my hometown. By the way, Meredith Willson grew up in Mason City, Iowa, which is just 74 miles south of Owatonna on US Highway 65. He may have been inspired by our own highly esteemed band leader, Harry Wenger, who was often called the Music Man. After being music director at our high school for several years, Wenger formed Wenger Music Company to manufacture everything from special music chairs and music stands to acoustic curtains, orchestra platforms, and portable stages. And the company's products are still used worldwide in schools, concert halls, parks, and sports arenas. We were very proud of our Music Man. So as you can see, I have some deep and meaningful memories of this holiday from my youth. Today, it often seems that Memorial Day has become just another occasion for picnics, barbecues, day off from work, end of the school year, and the start of summer. But I believe it is important for us to remember, reflect upon, and respect the sacrifices that people have made for us through the years. Here in Florida, in other parts of the country, there's a strong movement against recognizing the role of blacks in our history. Social studies, civics, and history books are being rewritten or removed from our schools and the shelves of libraries. Programs to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion have been eliminated from universities and government institutions. It is so bad that the NAACP has just issued a travel advisory for the state of Florida. Imagine that. People of diversity are being actively deprived of the inclusion that they deserve. Now is the time when we must draw attention to our complete history. I grew up with family stories about the Civil War. My great-grandmother, Mary Goodnature, was born in 1854 in Springfield, Illinois, where Abraham Lincoln practiced law. And she saw Lincoln there before he left to become president. My grandfather, Floyd Frost, told me about his grandfather, who had been one of the Minnesota volunteers to join the Union troops, and he served under General Sherman. Sorry, Atlanta. So for me, the Civil War was not just some distant tale from history books. It was part of our family history. Today, I am emphasizing the role of the unknown soldiers of the Civil War. Did you know that there were many black soldiers that served in the Union Army? Have you ever been told their stories? In 1862, President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation declared that all persons held as slaves within the rebellious states are and henceforward shall be free. That also opened the door for African Americans to enlist in the Union Army. Although many had wanted to join the war effort earlier, they were prohibited from enlisting by a federal law dating back to 1792. In May 1863, the War Department established the Bureau of Colored Troops for the purpose of recruiting African American soldiers. These became the United States Colored Troops. Roughly 179,000 black men, 10% of the Union Army, served as soldiers in the Army, and another 19,000 served in the Navy. And nearly 40,000 black soldiers died over the course of the war. Despite promises of equal treatment, blacks were relegated to separate regiments commanded by white officers. Black soldiers received less pay than white soldiers, inferior benefits, and poorer food and equipment. Sound familiar? It may sound familiar to women too. Who were some of the black Civil War heroes? Henry Flipper was the first African American to be commissioned in the Army or any other branch of the US military. He became the first African American officer to command African American soldiers when he assumed command of Troop A, 10th Cavalry Regiment also known as the Buffalo Soldiers at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. The most famous black soldier in the Civil War was Alexander Thomas Augusta, who was the highest ranking black officer in the Union Army during the war. He was also the first African American head of a hospital, the Freedmen's Hospital, and the first black professor of medicine at Howard University in Washington, D.C. And perhaps the most interesting one of all is Harriet Tubman, a woman. She was born a slave in 1822. In 1849, when she was 27 years old, she escaped. For 11 years, she was one of the conductors on the Underground Railroad, which was a network of routes, places, and people that helped enslaved people in the South to escape to freedom in the North. They called her Moses for leading her people to freedom. Harriet Tubman, Moses. During the Civil War, Tubman worked for the Union Army, first as a cook and nurse, and then as an Army scout and spy. She also continued with other abolitionists to work with the Union Army to help slaves to travel to the North once they came behind Union lands. And Tubman volunteered to gather intelligence for the Union Army behind Confederate enemy lines. In 1863, she became the first woman, not just black or white, but the first woman to lead an armed military expedition called the Combahee Ferry Raid that freed more than 700 from slavery. Wow. After the Civil War, Harriet settled with her family and friends on land she owned in Auburn, New York. I believe she got that land from William Seward, who had been secretary under Lincoln. She applied for veterans compensation, but it took her 34 years to finally get it in 1900. When she died in 1913, at the age of 91, she was buried with full military honors. Harriet Tubman, soldier, spy, leader, inspirational woman. So now, as we celebrate our Memorial Day weekend, let us remember and appreciate all those who gave their lives in service to our country. And let us honor all the unknown black soldiers who helped to save the Union and end slavery in America. We are indebted to them and thank them for the sacrifices they made to help preserve this nation of the people, by the people, and for the people. And may we all continue to do everything in our power to protect and preserve freedom, democracy, inclusion, justice, equality, especially here in Florida and in these United States of America. May it be so.
As we prepare for the offertory, I would like to offer a funny ha-ha, because laughter makes us generous. Okay. One day, the rain was pouring like crazy, and a big puddle formed in front of a local pub just outside the Navy base. An old Marine sergeant was standing near the edge of the puddle with his fishing line in the puddle. When a Navy fighter pilot saw this, he decided to approach the old sergeant and see what he was doing. "Fishing," replied the old man. The poor old fool, thought the Navy officer, and invited the old man inside to buy him a drink. While drinking their beers, the smart-aleck fighter pilot decided to ask, "So, how many fish did you end up catching today?" And the old Marine answered, "You're the 8th." We appreciate your generous donations which support our inspiring services, our interesting activities, our social outreach, our dedicated staff, beautiful facilities, all here at All Faiths. If you are with us on our live stream service, you can mail checks or visit our website at allfaithsuu.org. Our morning offering will now be taken.
Just a few words before I sing this song. In the early 80s, I was a member of the Joy Sounds radio choir, and this was my first lead singing with that choir, and it's so special to me, and I hope you enjoy it. Situations that tug of war at me. All day long I struggle with the answers that I need, but then I come into His presence. All my questions become clear, and for that sacred moment, no doubt can interfere. In the presence of Jehovah, God Almighty, Prince of Peace, troubles vanish, hearts are mended in the presence of the King. Through His love, the Lord provided a place for us to rest, a place to find the answers in the hours of distress. But there is never a reason to give up in despair. Just mention His name and claim it. He will meet you there. In the presence of Jehovah, king. Thank you.
Ah, Darlene, you know what? You're going to convert us all to become Black Baptists. I mean, God, what soul, what spirit. It's always so inspiring to have you with us. For me, Memorial Day is never complete without the Gettysburg Address. But I always think Abraham Lincoln was really wrong. We do remember what he said there. And not only here in America, but when I studied Chinese history, I learned that Sun Yat-sen, the founder of the Chinese Republic who overthrew the monarchy, called his movement the Three People's Principle, San Min Jui, based on of the people, by the people, and for the people. I was married to two Pakistanis who were founders of the Pakistani People's Party, and founding the People's Party and calling it the People's Party was influenced by the Gettysburg Address. So I am going to recite the Gettysburg Address, and let us take his message to heart today. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition all men are created equal. And I would add women. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that the nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow the ground. The great, brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from this earth. And now, Darlene, give us the wind beneath our wings.
in my shadow, to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine, that's your way. You always walked a step behind, so I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. A beautiful face behind the name for so long, a beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I wish I could be. I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I've got it all right here in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth, of course I know it, that I would be nothing without you. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I wish I could be. I can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Fly, fly, fly away. You let me fly so high. Oh, fly, fly, fly away, so high against the sky. I thank you, thank you. I thank God for you, the wind beneath. Thank you, and I thank you, thank God for you, the wind beneath my wings. Thank you.
We'd like to thank Joyce Ramey for her reverent message for Memorial Day. We're happy to have Darlene, our soloist, Darlene Mitchell, with us today. We'd like to thank Carlos, Bob Way, and our All Faiths trio for their music. We'd like to thank Sharon Gray on our camera, Ed Elrod faithfully on our sound, Joe Gayton, our sexton, Nicole Racine and Frank Geltner for their hospitality, our friendly greeters. And we'd like to thank Regina Kilmartin, who keeps everything and everyone together here at All Faiths. It is good to be connected in whatever way that we can. As Pam Falzer comes forward to extinguish the chalice, please recite the words in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. Remember, we invite all of our members to remain in your seats for a very short congregational meeting to vote on your preference regarding the proposed revision to the UUA bylaw, Article 2, changing the principles and sources. After that, everyone is invited to join us for ice cream, coffee, conversation in the social hall,